now with the vision changes. Sivir's just a beast. Shyvana, Elise, Rengar. Those are all very strong champions right now. No Lee Sin being taken off the field from Prime. So I'm not sure about that. Ninja Ken doesn't play a whole bunch of Lee Sin. It is in his champion pool, but he's more of a Nocturne player. I think he has 1,337 games with Nocturne.
Dead even on that, huh? He stopped there.
I think he just got to it and stopped.
It must be sad for him knowing he can never again.
Just normals. Just normals.
Just normals. Okay. Oh, yeah. Well, that's fine.
Yeah. His ranked is 1,337. So they're like, you want to do some ranked fives? Nope. No Nocturne.
Sivir, Evelyn, Olaf off the field for Quantic, and CompLexity with the first grab. Renekton still on the field. Apple been a terror with Renekton. Ringar banned. Can you ban around Apple, though? I mean, that really becomes the question, and I tend to feel like no, but we'll see if CompLexity can give him at least a little bit of trouble.
Well,
it's going to be Annie first pick.
I don't know if Apple has a large champion pool or not, because he only plays really a handful of champions. Jax, Aatrox, Renekton, Kennen, Rengar, Shyvana. But there's still a lot that you could expand on. He plays a lot of the core top laners. And these two picks coming out here from Quantic are just standard right here. Loco Doco, Lucian, Prime, getting his Lee Sin.
Yep. We've seen Loco Doco have fantastic games with Lucian. We've seen him have really rough time with Lucian. And again, hopefully the server issues don't crop up that we saw yesterday, really heavily affecting teams there. We saw a lot of pauses, a couple of the Quantic games on the back of some server issues, and especially with them at a net cafe. I mean, you don't want to compound things and put it into a weird spot. Ninja Ken and Gente up to pick there for CompLexity. They locked Annie early. That Annie support. A big pick for everybody. I mean,
left open.
Yeah,
and that'll maybe put Gunza onto Fiddlesticks because he likes those playmaking supports. He does play some Lulu, and Lucian is fantastic. So Ninja Ken, second most played champion's J4, and he's hovering over that right now. Gente immediately going to lock in the Jinx though. Like I said, it's that Sivir, Jinx, Lucian trifecta of ADCs right now. If one gets banned out and somebody picks the other, you pretty much have to pick the remaining one.
Indeed so. Saw this all those years ago, and I think it was Ezreal, Graves, and Corki were the three that basically anybody would get away.
And then Caitlyn came out, and people were like, okay, this champion's range is ridiculous, beats all three of them, and now it was basically about who can counter Caitlyn. And then people started playing Vayne in a swapped lane. There's a huge history behind that. And a Riven, that's going to go to Suno, I think.
If mid lane Riven, who was it we saw? It was Mega Zero.
In the top
enough, who got to play Riven earlier yesterday, and just couldn't get anything started with it. We'll see if Suno, if he does end up being the one to run it, if Suno can get anything done there. Loco Doco going to lock Thresh, and they'll send it back over. J4, the Ninjakin grab. Seen J4 come out a couple of times. I want to say it was Ninjakin that we saw play J4 yesterday. And was it? Oh, I can't for the life of me remember. Somebody played it, and they could not. No, somebody playing Quantic picked up a J4 grab, and they just could not lock a single Quantic player in with a Cataclysm all day long. I mean, it was literally like 10 Cataclysms across the game. Nobody was ever caught long-term inside of a Cataclysm.
I'm trying to think because the J4 that I remember was against TBD with Broken Shard, and he kept flashing away, and it was CompLexity, so it was Ninja Ken playing J4 yesterday. Chuper going to lock in that Mundo top lane for Mega Zero. We saw this last night in OGN, a lot of Mundo top from Flame from CJ Anta's Blaze.
He really works well with the new itemization, I think. Really, really nicely. I mean, he gets a little bit of that gold bolstering as well if you decide to go that route with it. But just, you get the new Spirit Visage, right? It's still Spirit Visage?
Yep.
I can never, I still sometimes say Force of Nature. The new Spirit Visage, it synchronizes beautifully. Obviously, the health game can get really big. You got a guy that's doing percentage damage. He's got huge regen on the ultimate. It makes him a very, very serious force, somebody that you can't ignore walking in, and that's been really the hallmark of the top lane, somebody that's going to be able to get in there. You know, they can kind of survive on a mediocre game. Mundo, a little less so than Renekton and
Is
Rengar, but still very, very potent.
is that going to be a top lane Riven? I have yet to see Apple play Riven. He's usually on those tanky wave clear types, and it is. It's going to be a top lane Riven for Apple.
Jin's are going to lock in Suno's Ari. Suno been really getting the job done on Ari this weekend. As somebody almost to the point that you'd like to see somebody hit a target ban on Ari just to get Suno playing somebody else in the mid lane. Obviously, this time around, not going to happen. CompLexity going to be taking out Mundo, J4, Orianna, Jinx, and Annie on the Quantic side. It's going to be Riven, Lee Sin, Ari, Lucian, and Thresh. We're going to find out if Quantic going to continue the stomp or if CompLexity can get them version 0-2. Looking to put one on the board and basically just save any hopes that they'll at least make it to maybe a tiebreaker match here. Quantic, if they go 3-0, going to make it very, very hard for anybody to put them down and take a tiebreaker scenario to keep them from going on to the, what do you call those matches? I want to say retention, but I know that's not it. Relegation. Why is retention stuck in my brain?
It's the relegation for the LCS teams, and it's the promotionals.
Yes, for
the challengers. Yeah. So I guess it's all about perspective in that case. I'm really excited to see Apple on Riven.
They're trying to retain their spot in the LCS, so that's why.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm staying positive for the LCS guys.
All right.
Former LCS guys, I guess, at least temporarily.
Yeah, I guess they don't count because they can participate in challenger tournaments, whereas the LCS teams can't. So the relegated ones can. That's why we see Coast in like the NACL and things like that. Yeah, I'm really excited to see Apple playing Riven in the top lane. He started with the Doran's Blade, and it looks like they want to do a lane swap here. And Riven doesn't fare too well in 2v1s, but if we look over at Mega Zero, he has no flash. He has Barrier Ignite. So if he gets ganked early, which is pretty much Prime's MO, especially on a Lee Sin, I don't know how Mega Zero is going to be able to handle that with no escapes. Granted, his W gives him some CC reduction, but he won't have his ultimate if Prime ganks in his usual pattern. So I really want to see how this unfolds, especially with the lack of tank.
For the lane swap here, as Loco Doco and Gunza helping out Prime up top. Same thing for MIA and Chuper, as they're going to run it on up. MIA trying to sneak away one of those little caster minions. You know he was. He'll say he wasn't, but I know he was.
So blue buff goes over to Suno, level 1.
Apple going to recall and then run it on out.
And I think they thought it was going to be a 2v1, so Apple would have time to just back. But no, Mega Zero's going to have a little bit of an advantage over him in lane, because he's going to get level 2 before Apple even gets to lane.
I'm going to say, what are your thoughts, though, on the 1v1 lane? I feel like up against Mundo, who's going to have to spend life to get in and do work, it might be a better setup, especially with the very long-ranged MIA's auto attacks, and Chuper very, very obnoxious on Jinx. Everybody's obnoxious on Jinx. That's kind of her whole deal. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
On the whole 1v1 situation.
1v1 instead of Riven in the 2v2 lane.
I'm really not sure. I feel like 2v1 isn't Riven's fort at all. I feel like she doesn't excel, and she's like poked out of lane really easily, whereas somebody like Mundo has the HP regen, and then you have missing HP regen from the Perseverance. So it's really like an offensive character versus a defensive one. And if Mega Zero starts going and gets defensive stats, you might be able to whittle Riven down before she can do anything.
Yeah, especially once they hit 6, I feel like that could be the shift for him there. We'll see how this early game goes if they get some help. Mega Zero going to be up at 3, going to be getting onto the lane quite a bit later, which means he's going to be behind on the XP there. Lee Sin going to come in, looks like a little early, working Rule down now, and then he's going to head out onto the lane.
Yeah, he wants to go ahead and get a gank here.
Jintae run low, Suno working in mid lane.
Already, it's the blue buff. It's that blue buff. Ari's able to just throw out spell after spell and really just sustain himself. We have Ninja Ken off on the side. It's gonna show.
And J4 on the way in, and Charm gonna catch a minion. Ninja Ken catches a little bit of luck there, but Suno's still with plenty of room. And like you said, that blue buff just doing work. Jintae forced back. CS numbers right now, however, favoring Jintae.
Yep. Suno gonna draw Ninja Ken to the mid.
Ninja Ken's there, guns it down, gonna flame on back. No room for a hook, too many minions in the way. Prime just over the wall, but is not going to be able to come into this party. Guns are going to back it on up. Loco Doco left up top by his lonesome. saw this yesterday as well, I think. We saw Gunza go a little bit early walkabouts. Gonna recall
Prime?
there and head back out the lane.
Prime Pingdy's coming bottom behind Mega Zero.
Gonna head on in. Mega Zero gonna have to stand in this one. Plenty of health, but is there enough damage? Quantic putting out a lot. Ignites down. Apple needs one more. Prime tanks it out as long as he can. They get the follow-up burn. Is it gonna be enough for first blood? Doesn't look like it. Mega Zero gonna make it through.
Ninja Ken's off on the side. They have no idea that he's here. If he engages, I don't know if Mega Zero has enough follow-up right now. And Riven extremely strong early on. And Ninja Ken's just coming for the reinforce.
Done on the Loco Doko. Gonna come to naught. A little bit of poke damage put onto him there. Apple still stay in the front. Prime quite low himself. Ninja Ken very low. Be very interesting, very even fight down bottom. And as such, Quantic just gonna back it on up. CompLexity gonna do the same now that they've got the lane cleared and reset to center.
Well, Apple's going to go ahead and clear this out. He saw them back, and it's not a cannon minion wave, so he's going to be able to clear it out quickly, and then he's going to back on this one.
Prime heading back as well, now that he finishes up, I think that was second round of Rule there, grabbing. 200 gold lead for Quantic, as not a lot of anything really going on here. A couple of gank attempts, a couple of looks down bottom, a little bit up top, all coming to nothing 6 minutes in. Or mid.
Apple's off on the side. They ping that he's there. Ninja Ken's off, waiting for him to show.
Apple gonna go for it. I like Quantic trying to do some work here, but CompLexity on top of the vision game, making sure they know they're around, and it's gonna pay him off nicely there. As it's gonna be some wasted time. Apple coming in. The charm lands on a Gente. He's gonna be forced to spin the flash. Gets himself out, put some good damage on the Apple, but there's nobody in the area to help with the follow-up.
So Apple might have to back here, unless he's going to try and sustain himself in the lane. He does have some lifesteal quintessences. He's sitting at 6% lifesteal. He's also got a Doran's Blade. So a little bit of regen on him. If he can hit these, but Mega Zero might just all in him with his ultimate. So Apple's trying to make a decision here. He decides
to miss that first briefcase and trying to stay in XP range, because again, he's falling behind here. So Mega Zero with quality time on the turret is just going to extend that experience lead. Luckily, going to send another briefcase into a minion there. No reason for Mega Zero to think he could dime that and get away with it, so he's just going to back it on up. Go check things out. Get the Tri-Brush warded up. Gunza now hanging out. And topside River Brush. Recall ping onto Gunza as he's checking out.
So Mega Zero went back, got a Chain Vest for himself. Probably going to turn that into a Sunfire for even more wave clear. And he's maxing his Q first to standard poke. And he might max his Burning Agony second, his W, so he has the wave clear. Prime off on the side. They know Mega Zero has no escapes, except for his ultimate is now available.
Pops the ult and gets plenty of room. So Quantic just going to let it burn. Didn't put that much damage onto him, so going to spend the ult a little bit, let's not call it prematurely, but he's got a little excited. Going to fill him back up, top him off. Apple going to finally pull a recall there now that he hit 6.
Yeah, and he's sitting on 1,400 gold. And top lane right now, not looking in Quantic's favor. They are pushed back. They do hit level 6 first. Or in Loco Doko, Chuper just matched it. Support's not level 6. When MIA gets that, he might go for a Tiberson. But, of course, when you're underneath the turret, you're not going to be able to follow it up as easily.
Especially with nobody in the area, Ninja Ken not up top. Might be able to tie that one on if they got a Cataclysm drop in there and got Ninja Ken to tank things out. Nothing doing, though. Now back it up. Wait for the lane to clear and start that game all over again. Prime runs down. First blood over to Gente, who has managed to stay alive by just a sliver. 3 different attempts on his life. Finally going to make Quantic pay for trying again.
That was a fantastic play there. Prime, little misplay there. He got in range of the turret and took too many tower shots, was going for the Dragon's Rage to reposition Gente away from it, but couldn't get out. The shockwave pulled him back into range, and he just took that extra damage. So, well played there by Gente, getting first blood for his team, 600 gold lead.
Yeah, after what's been just a lot of attempts, nobody really able to lock anything down. A couple attempts on Mega Zero down in the bottom lane, several attempts onto Gente, and he finds a first blood grab for himself. He's going to put the team up 700 gold now, as Quantic trailing back just a little bit. CS numbers in mid lane and bottom side there, Mega Zero belonging very, very much to CompLexity. Going to chase it down and not going to be able to catch him with that briefcase. They're full of business papers. They're dangerous.
Business papers, those add up after a while.
Prime coming down. Not sure he's needed, though, as Mega Zero just going to fall 1v1. Suno locked up under the turret there. Ninjakin takes some shots, but buys Gente the time to grab a second, and Gente now with 2 kills under his belt. 70 CS in tow. He is going to start getting pretty fluffy there. Loco Doco going to lantern out over the wall. Looks on in and is going to walk over there. Gunza just drawing as much attention towards him as humanly possible. Give Loco Doco time to get out of there. Not going to work. Shot from Chuper, not going to go in. And they see him head on down. Going to be some friends waiting around though. Loco Doco. Where can he go right now? Does he have time? He does.
They don't see him. They don't see him.
They head into the Tri-Brush to check it. Into the Baron Pit, Loco Doco. Ooh, lucky escape. Top outer falls, though.
Sneaky, sneaky on that one. Down bottom, though, Apple just 1v1ing Mega Zero despite him having a chain vest against a Brutalizer. Just a lot of damage there. Using the Ignite at the right time, too. And Suno's going in. He wants his blue back.
Charm doesn't land. Shockwave will. Gente burning. Not going to be enough.
17 HP. One more auto attack would have done it, but Suno would have taken another tower shot, and it's arguable maybe he would have made it out, maybe he wouldn't. I think he would have been safe. But
in the heat of the moment, made the call to back it on up, and Gente walks away clean.
Yeah, he's going to deny some CS away from Gente, and Jinte's ahead of him already. Gente has that red from killing Prime, and has a blue from killing Suno. So, those double buffs are extremely scary. Suno wanted them off of him. And he's going for that DFG, but no needlessly large rod yet. Has about 840 gold. They use lane swap from Quantic here to match the lane swap from CompLexity.
Apple and Mega Zero playing best friends in the jungle. Apple just going to leave that one away.
Last time they played that game, Apple wasn't the best of friends, giving him a beating.
Yeah. Apple insisted on having the player 1 controller, and Mega Zero decided, you know what, I'm not cool with that. You've been pushing me around for far too long. Decided to stand up to him, but Apple, he's spry for his size. That's what it is. Mega Zero's a big kid, but, you know, just didn't have the moves, the bob and weave that Apple's got down to a science.
So both junglers are down bottom right now. They're trying to sweep this ward out so that Ninjakin can get himself into the bush, and they're going.
Apple going big on a Mega Zero. Again, this thing start up, down, bottom. Big start here for CompLexity. They're going to walk away with 1. Might get a second. Loco Doco gets clear. Prime very low. They just don't have anything with the range to do it. Mega Zero going to stay alive up top, though, so that's going to be a 1 for none around the field, with Quantic giving 1 more over to CompLexity.
Yeah, Prime didn't get to do anything in that fight. He took a lantern straight in onto a Tibbers, and he got stunned. So he sat there basically just getting chunked down. Gunza gets taken out of the fight. Prime extremely low. No flash available, so he has to safeguard away. And him and Loco Doco get out. And blue team, CompLexity, pick up the dragon.
So Quantic off to a bit of a bumpy start here for a team that started off 2-0 in group stage. They're down 2,000 gold now. Apple, the only one basically in great shape right now. The CS numbers on the AD carry is very, very close, though. So Loco Doco not slouching in the mid lane. Got that extra kill money onto Orianna. Not a runaway by any stretch, but the global gold now sitting at 1 tower and 1 dragon for CompLexity. Their coordination's been nice, and I gotta say, off to the start here, Mega Zero in trouble. It's gonna be Suno taking the turret out. Mega Zero trying to find a way in. Boxes dropped. They can't finish the job. Hook gonna miss wide up over MIA in the bottom lane fight. Mega Zero catches a charm, but they can't finish it. Mega Zero stays alive again, despite the better efforts of Quantic. The rotates have been good. They haven't had enough damage to finish the job now for basically the 5th or 6th time this game. They've been looking for it. Shockwave going to be shorted there as Prime escapes over a wall. But again, where was this CompLexity yesterday? And they started group round 0-2. Quantic having some trouble.
And Apple's off on the side. He's about to have his ultimate backup. He knows Mega Zero doesn't have his. He's waiting for this.
Ult's there. Now he's past the turret range. Going to be a very, very long walk back to turret. Looking for a grab. Got J4 in the area, though. This could be a bit of a dangerous look, and he'll just go. Briefcase going to land. Prime got to get out of this one. In comes Ninjakin. Is the jumping bump going to be good? No, Q will get him clear.
Yeah, see, basically senses that and gets himself out of there. And that's that triple bush up top. If it was just those 2 bushes, like it was previously, then Apple would have been able to sneak himself into that first bush by his turret, or what used to be his turret, and then maybe he could have been aggressive off of that. but because it's not there, Mega Zero popping the ultimate to get himself just back to full HP. And now he's going to back. It's okay. It's a choice.
Not a super long cooldown, so, you know.
No.
It's not a precious ult by any means, so, you know, just top yourself off in case you're running to Prime.
Yeah, keep
you
yourself
really
safe.
want to have a knockdown drag out.
But yeah, the Ignite was burned by Apple there, and despite his efforts, he still wasn't able to pick up a kill with Suno underneath the turret. And Blue being contested.
Gonna be stolen away there. Jinte gets it. Nobody in really to do anything about that. Loco Doko just gonna voice his complaint from the far side.
So I guess Ninja Ken actually got it, and Jinte.
Oh, Jinte already has
theirs. Yeah. Okay. Their timers are extremely close. They just went from their Blue immediately over there. Yeah, Suno haven't been able to make the plays that he wants, and
Ninja Ken onto him. Suno low is going to be able to get out of the Cataclysm. Runs away. The red buff still burning him down. He's going to get out with about half a health left. Ninja Ken going to fall down to Prime. They're still looking for it, though. Apple taken low. There's just a lot of brute force on Complexity there. I mean, there is no finesse whatsoever to the plays Complexity been making, but they've managed to make him stick. And I got to say, I mean, end up in that one losing Ninja Ken, but very nearly walked away with a pair of grabs.
Yeah, this fight is going to be very, very strange as the game continues between these two teams, because there's really no tank, no dedicated tank on the side of Quantic. If you look at Complexity, Mundo is more than enough, and then they're going to have J4 building tanky on top of that. Granted, Prime can build the tanky Lee Sin, but Lee Sin isn't really that effective as a tank. He's kind of a CC bot, but he doesn't have the AoE damage that Mega Zero is going to have from his W on top of a Sunfire cape. So Apple needs to get ahead, and he needs to start doing it even more. He needs to start carrying his team right now, because even though Mega Zero's behind, he's still a tank, and he's still going to be very present later on in the game.
3 turrets to none now, as Complexity have managed to push down every outer turret. Got themselves off to a 3,000 gold lead here. Going to push in on Chuper's turret. Chuper not going to be having it, though. It'll roll in and start to clear with that AoE. Nothing to thumb your nose at. Apple and Mega Zero back to their 1v1 up top. Apple has come out on top of a couple of those 1v1s, but just hasn't been able to make the past couple of them stick by way of a kill. Bottom outer going to fall as Quantic decide it's time to really get some work done on these primary objectives. Minute and a half left until Dragon comes back up. Apple going to back it on up, let the minions come to him, and he'll start to get them clear. Mega Zero just looking a little too scary right now, as they've got an Orianna and a J4 on the way up. Complexity now. Nice coordination here out of Complexity. Again, where were these guys? First 2 games of the sets yesterday. I got to say, down 0-2. Quantic having a lot of trouble keeping pace with them here, and largely due to team comp thus far, at least it looks like.
Well, Complexity had a 10k gold lead yesterday.
Oh, that's true. That's right. Yeah,
so this 3k gold lead is far from the game being over at all. Like, they haven't blown this wide open. Dragon's gonna be up in a minute. That'll probably be the next place we're gonna see some action. Oh, boom, in the mid.
Suno locked up. Down he goes.
Wow. As I say that.
Shockwave combo.
All right, let me rephrase that. Next time we're going to see multiple people in a team fight instead of a pick. There we go.
There you go.
Oh, he's going to be off for about 15 seconds now, and that'll give him 15 more to get over to Dragon. But if they want to contest it, he'll have to book it right there. And I don't know if Mega Zero is actually going to go down for Dragon or not, or if he's just going to stay in the top lane causing pressure.
Yeah, and not having Riven there definitely going to decrease the scariness, as they've still got J4 in the pile. He's going to be big enough to be scary to just about anybody, and, you know, turns around and drops a Cataclysm. It's a fight that could go pear-shaped for Quantic very quickly. Mega Zero on the run out. Looks like he will head south with the rest of Complexity. Try to get in there. Lane's all pushed over, so it's going to be a little bit of house cleaning here for Quantic before they're able to come in. It looks like they're just not going to bother with the Dragon.
Yeah, Complexity just has tabs on it. They're not going to be able to... Yeah, Quantic's not going to be able to do anything about this. Prime going to show up a little bit late. Realize it's gone. DFG completed on Suno, so he's looking for some picks. If he can get them, they might be able to get themselves back in this game. Pick off maybe MIA or Chuper, those low HP targets who don't have any defensive stats. We'll have to see.
4,500 gold now, the lead for Complexity. 4 kills to 2, 3 turrets to 1. Complexity off to a nice lead here. 19 minutes, 20 seconds in. Quantic been having trouble just finding a way to get the fights that they need. Looked for a lot of picks. I mean, really, they've been very, very active, but just have not been paid off for it, as Complexity had the getaway juice and had the disruption to stop the attacks.
And so I'm really like, if you look at Apple's build right now, he bought the Last Whisper, he bought the Brutalizer, he's going straight penetration right now because he has to deal with Mega Zero's tankiness, has that Sunfire Cape, has a cloth armor that'll probably turn into maybe Ninja Tabai, and Loco Doco in trouble.
I can't buy that one. It's Ninja 10. I can't let it happen. MIA trying to come around. They're working down Prime. Tibber's gonna die. Sadly, not worth the kill himself. It's worth a couple of ducats.
How would you say it?
Ninja Tabby.
Tabby?
Yeah.
Right.
At worst, it would be Tabi.
Tabi?
If you want to go Japanesey with it.
I say Tabai? What did I say?
Yeah, you said Tabi. That was crazy. Long eye? That's crazy.
Ugh.
That's just crazy.
Oof, I just Americanized that.
Yeah.
Whew.
Get the Ninja Tabi.
I'm just as bad as those mana people.
Yeah.
I'm no better.
It's not bread. You can't let it be bread.
No mana.
For Complexity, Quantic gonna be basically left alone here to charge down mid lane, but the minions are nowhere to be found. Apple gonna soak up a shot. Blue buff over to Ninjakin. He's low on mana, so he's gonna need that one on the way back. Hey!
Man, you can't go hungry, that bread.
Yeah, it's delicious. He's gonna need it.
Just handed down from the gods. And Quantic want this mid lane, but Complexity's gonna be here to answer.
Strong in the mid lane. Quantic need a good fight for themselves. Decide that this is not where they're going to find it and back it away as Complexity rolls in. Complexity just to have... They've had the movement. Charm going to land on a Ninjakin, and Hook's going to be short by Gunza. Wow, so close to a Complexity grab there. Looking for any pick they can get, and obviously Ninjakin, a prime target to get off the field. There's still a lot of disruption. Mega Zero is still going to be the front line, but is not going to be able to lock people in place quite like that Cataclysm, which is back up. And now, there we go.
Yeah, if you get somebody in a Cataclysm with a Mundo, it's going to be the Sunfire Cape damage on top of your Burning Agony. It's a lot of damage just standing next to Mundo there. And then he's just going to have his cleavers up, and he's just going to chunk you down. So if he can get inside of where Ninja Ken's going to be throwing down the Cataclysm, it's going to be very, very good for Complexity. But Mega Zero has no escapes, and he's kind of a tempting target, but here comes Quantic from the side, kind of their MO. Gunza, get the hook.
Find a way in. Gets in there, he's going to drop in, boxes there, Mega Zero trying to run the front, forcing out a flash from Gunza. But Quantic can't catch up to Mega Zero, couldn't get to anybody else, and Complexity might walk away from this one. Prime doing what he can to stop that from happening. Hops over, gets on to Chuper's, going to be able to knock him back the other way. Suno comes in, ends up in a big old pile of hurt. Oriana grabs one. Loco Doco now trying to do his thing. Apple doing it. Shockwave not going to finish. It looked like their animation almost got completed, but Gente dies mid-animation and it fizzles.
That's a 3-for-1 overall. Gunza actually made it out of there. Super Mega Death Rocket just whiffed right by him. He had such low HP. And now they're going to focus this turret down and start to take a little bit of an advantage here and start closing that gold gap. 3k down now when they previously were around that 4 or 5k area. Now 2k, 1.8.
Quantic with a little bit of a get back. Finally found a fight for themselves after Gunza's hard work. They just couldn't let that one alone. I mean, Complexity got basically a full disengage there, but Prime stuck in with it. Got an ult onto Chuper, and Suno followed it through. You know, a bit of a sloppy fight on both sides there as Complexity ended up spread largely due to the hook Gunza managed to land. But I gotta say, Quantic tied it together, made it work, got themselves a turret and a couple of kills to get themselves right back into this game. They hadn't fallen out completely, but certainly they were wavering. Now, hopefully, getting some footing underneath them.
Yeah, they have a great foothold right now. 1k gold down. Oh man, they just blew this game wide open. Back it's anybody's game at this point. And like you were saying, where was this Complexity yesterday? We might be seeing the same Complexity from yesterday.
It might just be. That was harsh. You
yeah,
burned them down.
I have to. I love these guys, but their play, you know, granted they've had some roster changes and it's really hard to adapt to things like that. But they're really putting a lot on Mega Zero in the top lane, and Gente has been showing himself as a great player. But we saw him on Ziggs yesterday. Huge advantage, a lot of kill participation, a lot on his shoulders, and he dies that one time, and then Cognitive just ends the game off of that. So.
Build them up, and then you crush them right back down.
Yeah, I have to. It's how they've been playing with my heart.
Yeah. Why do you build them up, Buttercup? Baby, just to let them down. You mess them around, and then worst of all, you never call baby when you say you will. Complexity needs Some reliable commentator love. They need it. They've been having a rough time here, but again, Quantic showing signs of life for the first time. Dragon back up in 5.
Could be the good comm, bad comm.
They've got eyes on it. CompLexity 5 strong in the pile. Quantic will be as well. Working Dragon from the side so much as they can, and Quantic going to look for a way in. Prime at the front. Mega Zero going to come over, give him a briefcase and something to think about. Smite's going to be good from Ninjakin as he jump and bumps his way in. Mega Zero, just too much of a front line. Quantic watch the Dragon flitter away, and CompLexity walk away scot-free. Time for a game of chicken.
Who is going to chicken out first from this base race?
Wow, nobody. Wow, I gotta say.
There's more turret push on the side of Quantic. At least in my... Oh, wait, no. They have Jinx. So that attack speed...
Jinx and Turret Eater, and Quantic gonna lose
Quantic has Riven.
They're gonna lose the game of chicken, and they're gonna lose an inhibitor.
Yeah, no, Jinx is just way too fast.
That attack speed scale is too much. Culling comes in. Can they follow it up with anything? Q lands on a Mega Zero. Quantic get nothing back.
Wow. They don't even get that.
Started a game of chicken they weren't willing to see through.
I was sitting there thinking, they have Riven, who's more AD than Mundo. Granted, he can use his E, but he's not putting any points into it, and he's full HP. But I was like, oh, they have Jinx. The attack speed's too much. And Suno, Flash Charm doesn't connect.
This is wide off to the right there. A start that they really, really needed. Now CompLexity with a solid siege as Quantic make the call. Jump and bump over the wall onto Prime. Nobody from CompLexity going to be able to follow that one through. Prime slowly realizing that. Going to put some hurt on the Ninjakin. Now runs out of friends, and he'll leave the area. Back up to a 4K gold lead, and an inhibitor turret down now. Again, nice shot calling by CompLexity there.
Yeah, very good. Just going straight through. 5K gold lead once again for them, I guess 4.3. But they also got Suno's Flash there, not connecting the charm that he wanted to start that engagement off.
Shorts another one on Mega Zero there. Q not going to land on an Ninjakin.
He's not really a prime target either, and Gunza landing a hook, not taking it.
He's not quite ready to go. Ults are back up and ready to spin. Both sides loaded for bear. A lot of disruption on the CompLexity side, which means they're going to need to be able to get basically a hit confirmed start. As otherwise, it's just going to be a really rough fight for them. Doing what they can to poke it down, but the inhibitor goes.
Yep, Chuper picks that one up from long range. And that wasn't really the low risk, low reward edging forward that we usually see from Quantic. They were like, we're just going to base race them, and then realized they weren't going to win it. Basically at the same time that I realized it.
Jinx just a little too strong. Not a lot you can do about that attack speed scaling. It's just turret eaters, man.
130% attack speed. 130 just handed to you.
Crazy, and just nothing even comparable on the Quantic side that they could hope to scale up to. Double shots, I guess, but what are you gonna do?
It's based on cooldowns. I don't think it would be that quick. And the fact that they have Riven, who has attack damage but no attack speed, and attack speed's really the thing that shreds turrets. Just getting those multiple hits on it. And they're looking for more.
Ninjakin gonna get charmed, but that's gonna be it. They put some good damage onto him. Quantic playing like CompLexity got themselves a Baron buff because they're looking for a sure win fight here, playing it Sun Tzu style. Not starting a fight they know they can't win. Mega Zero, very big front line, but at some point Quantic's going to have to try to make a play somewhere, or they're just going to retreat themselves into a loss.
And it looks like Mega Zero, he's just getting to that tanky point right now. They can't really deal with him. If he ulties and runs straight in, they're going to have to burn some Ignites and try to burn him down, but he's just a huge front liner, whereas the front line of Quantic's really lacking. It's pretty much just Prime, but Prime is still extremely squishy, having no magic resist. He's just got some armor and some health, not really built up in the resistances department.
Yeah, Gunza might get there if they give themselves, I don't know, an extra 25 minutes or so that he can get the gold working, but as it stands, he's just not that beefy. Not too scary on a front line. They're going to go after Suno, and it's actually going to be Apple that's run off extremely wide here. CompLexity now going to reconnoiter. Ooh, Tibbs dropped. Possibly an opportunity for Quantic here. Gunza going to have to flash out over the wall as he runs too low. Gunza extremely low. He's got the box. If he can get in, just do a one-time shot. Apple going to try and do what he can. He's going to get very little. Chuper takes him off the field. Prime wipes Orianna out, so they've got at least the beginnings of a fight here. But Chuper, too strong. Too much damage coming off of that Jinx and standing right behind Mega Zero, daring anybody to try anything. They're going to lose Suno and Apple for Jinte. They're going to lose a turret as well as a Nexus turret. Was that a Nexus turret that fell?
Yep, they lost a Nexus turret and they lost a mid turret.
Just too much delay on the part of Quantic here is going to give CompLexity their first win from the looks of it.
And this is really good for CompLexity because if they get a win off of the people who are at the top of the standings right now, it really kind of evens the field. Because if Quantic goes to the 2-2 area and somebody else beats them, they'll really even themselves up with CompLexity, who, if they win this, they'll go 1-2. So, putting a win over the Titans is really great.
Yeah, absolutely. I gotta say, it's just strong play here. You know, Quantic may have put themselves in this position. Renekton was open. Would have been a strong front liner. Would have at least given Prime a little bit of something to think about. Would have been able to initiate with confidence onto Mega Zero. As it is, Apple, very, very damage heavy. Has not tried to mix build at all. Just going straight damage all the way across the field and can't get into a fight. He's sitting 2-1-3, and those stats look great, but the numbers on the field just really showing where the power is. 8-2 the turret count. 48,000 gold to 41.3, very nearly 7,000 gold in the lead right now. Goes CompLexity, 8 kills to 6, a Nexus turret down, 2 inhibitors off the field. CompLexity just got their run of the map right now.
And are they going to go for a Baron right now? 7k gold lead. They're trying to clear out Vision. They have pink wards down in the pit. They're going to clear it out as well. Maybe bait them into a position they don't want to be in. Mega Zero putting his own down there, just stocking up on these.
Bottom side inhibitor respawning. A little bit of a little tiny silver lining there for Quantic. Still got mid inhibitor down, and super minions pushing. They're going to clear the minions away. CompLexity going to walk it on out. Quantic still in the area, and again, it's one of those situations. They have no choice. Quantic sees that it's a hard initiation. They got to find the right one, but they just, like you said, end up retreating themselves into not a loss just yet, but they're certainly getting there. Top inner going to fall. No contest.
And Suno has to come bottom and defend this inhibitor from falling again. Granted, inhibitors come up a little quicker now than they used to. I believe the cooldown on them, or the respawn, was reduced by a minute. And Prime looking for an angle to kick somebody into the team, but there's wards. If he gets caught, he's going to get blown up.
CompLexity paying off investments there, and right now trying to make a way around. They're just going to start it up. Orianna off the field. Mega Zero going to run a little bit low as well. This could be the fight they needed. Stun going to land onto Apple. He'll get out of it. MIA going to run low. Mega Zero gets clear. MIA down. Prime going to grab that one. Suno works Chuper down, and it's a 3 for none. Quantic now with a big chance at a dragon grab. Ninjakin still up, still in good shape. Could slide in there and steal it away.
That was
Quantic
the fight.
backing up.
That was the fight that CompLexity did not want to take. And Quantic took full advantage of that. They're going after Mega Zero. He's probably just going to buy some time here as much as he can. He's very tanky.
But certainly a threat to that inhibitor turret. Can't be ignored. Charm not going to land there. Suno going to do what he can. He'll make it on to the pool laser. No. Apple going to finish him?
Yeah. They're just trying. He's just trying to buy time.
Did a good job of it. Pops the ult even. Apple finally going to lock that one down. A little bit of a get back. Is it enough for Quantic to make a run anywhere? A lot of time wasted there. Everybody back up except Mega Zero. Still, a lot of front line missing, which means Quantic can basically force a team fight here if they can find CompLexity.
So what ended up happening there is Gunza got a hook, took it, threw down the box. Jinte got exploded. So when you're in that little bottleneck and you take out the biggest AoE threat, which is Orianna, you're in a fantastic fighting position. But Quantic, we had Apple and Suno catch Chuper off on the sides. DFG comes out. Suno blows him up immediately. The 2 damage dealers of this team of CompLexity are off the field, and you just chase people down and take them out very slowly. So Jinte taking, maybe not the best route with his team, getting caught out. Chuper definitely in a missed position there, because Suno and Apple took immediate advantage of that. Immediate advantage.
CompLexity back up at full force now. Mega Zero on the field. Quantic not able to capitalize in any way. Couldn't grab the Baron. The delay from Mega Zero too much, and losing their final inhibitor turret, they decided that was not something they could work with. Final inhib back up. Quantic going to be able to do a little bit of work outside of their own base here.
And hook and
good
land.
Chuper, this could be a big fight for him. Chuper going to turn it around, not going to get the kills he needs. Down he goes. Top outer is going to fall to some minions as the third of the game gets grabbed. Suno going to fall, however. And Gente just too strong. Loco Doco not in the fight. It's going to be Prime and Loco Doco versus Mega Zero and Gente as it's 3 for 3 thus far. Mega Zero chasing it down. Can Loco Doco get out of this? No, sir. Gente too big.
So it looks like Gente is the main damage dealer of the team. They got Chuper immediately off the field, and Gente just cleaning up, doing a lot of damage. Look at his build. Void Staff, Rabadon's Death Cap, has the Athenes on Holy Grail, just full-on damage, trying to chunk people down. And now Prime just working on the Aegis of the Legion. So he's going to be able to pick up a Locket so he can help his team out in the Magic Resist department. But Apple also realized the threat, picked up a Negatron Cloak for himself. They need to start stacking some MR. Even Gunza realized it, picking up a Negatron Cloak for himself.
Absolutely. Gente, I mean, Chuper off the field super early, and you're thinking, oh man, Chuper's out. It's basically going to be around at this point, but no, sir. Gente got the job done. Low cooldowns on that Orianna just made him a force that was nearly impossible to be reckoned with right there. Sitting 250 CS, 434. Really did the work there for CompLexity, as that could not have been a better start for Quantic. The ending left something to be desired. Close enough.
Yep, close enough. Just walk away. It's done. It's done. Everybody understood it. So Baron being done here by CompLexity. Quantic is kind of in the area, but no vision. And it's just going to be taken. 8K,
Ward over the
7K.
wall, just in time to see it missing, and now Quantic going to get back to that game of retreating their way into their own base to watch things fall. Because at this point, not a lot they can do. Still not down as far as we've seen teams be down, but the team comp they have just does not work against this CompLexity lineup.
No, and if we look at Apple, he's been doing fantastically all game. Second highest CS behind Loco Doco, 100 ahead of Mega Zero, but Mega Zero's having a little bit more effectiveness in these team fights where it's just close range. They need that frontliner, and Apple, you know, he has GA now, so maybe this will help them out in terms of having a front line. But
yeah, it's maybe a confidence issue. They're going to try it. Prime going to get some ults off there, but the rest of Quantic not quite ready to go in. Looking for a way in. Guns are going to be the first to drop. Chuper with the kill there. Prime still at the backside of the fight. He goes over the wall just to find a double kill for Chuper. Chuper going to keep the chase on and is putting a lot of hurt on the Loco Doco. He's going to have to retreat to the pool.
They were looking for Gente a little too much.
Try to fight it. Yeah, Gente just nowhere to be found there, and Quantic's front line nowhere to be found as Mega Zero and Ninjakin still just too scary for him. Last Nexus turret goes down. They'll be able to run CompLexity back a little bit. Apple going to spin on the Guardian Angel. Come back up. Pick up MIA. Good enough. Chuper grabs one more to go 5-2-5 as the game finishes up. CompLexity put one on the board to go 1-2. And find the soft underbelly of Smaug as Quantic just knocked the fire-breathing dragon we thought. They're going to go 2-1 as we roll through the round robin. Be right back.